Good morning, Kevin. Here's your machine, the Breville Barista Express BES870. This is the silver model, of course, and it's in very good condition. As we discussed, it's, I would say, 95% as new. Very, very clean. Only some small, light scratches here. Of course, it's been used a handful of times, but it's in perfect working condition. I've just finished doing the cleaning cycle and the descale, and it's I would say it's as new on the inside. There's no issues at all. I will make a coffee now on it, so a double shot latte. So hopefully teaching you things you need to know. The machine is at temperature now because when you turn it on, it'll take maybe a minute to turn on, and then when the buttons light up, that means it's ready to go. That's it. So you can keep the machine on for 20 minutes or so for things to warm up, such as the porter filter, top lid. You can store your cups over here. But if you're in a hurry, you can just warm up the machine by running a blank shot. So I'm going to run a blank shot, which is just hot water without any coffee in the handle. And I'm going to put my cup. So let's press the double button. You can do this once or twice, it's up to you really. And then I'll grab a tissue to dry the porter filter. You want the porter filter to be nice and dry before you grind into it. So your machine comes with all 4 types of baskets. This here is the single wall double shot basket. So you should use this on a daily basis. This is the standard one that they use in the cafes. So this will make one strong drink or 2 weak drinks if you split it in half. So I've got a scale here just to measure the quantity. So we want to measure the coffee going in, the ground coffee going in, and the espresso coming out. So you need to balance these 2 settings based on that. So of course you want the ground size to be at a ground size that's not too big, not too small. So if the ground size is too big, the coffee will be too runny. If it's too small, the coffee will be too slow. So we want to balance it to give us the right pressure and the right timing for the extraction. This here is the amount. You want to set it to an area, or roughly a ballpark area, where it gives you about 18 grams for the double shot. So you have the filter size selection here, so single and double. I personally like to keep it on single because I think it's more consistent that way. So I'm going to keep it on single and try at 12 o'clock position over here. So let's see. I have recalibrated the internal setting on the grinder, so it should give you really fine grinds, just like you would expect for an espresso grinder. And it looks like it's in the right ballpark, so it's the right fineness, I would say, but the only way to confirm that is to make a coffee on it. So this gave us 8 grams at 12 o'clock setting. So let's put it at 2 o'clock and see if that gives us around 9 grams. Before doing that, I'm just going to top it off to 9 grams, and I can do that by holding. So when you hold, it'll grind for as long as you hold. So that's 9 grams. Perfect. I'm going to press it down nice and firm after the first grind, and then click it again, this time at a 2 o'clock position. Okay, this is the second dose, and that's 9 grams, perfect. So keep it at 2 o'clock position, it'll give you about 9 grams. So if you do it twice, that's 18 grams, which is the size of this double basket. So I'm going to flatten this mound of coffee with my hand. before pressing it down. So you want it to be roughly flat. Maybe use your palm or use your fingers. Just distribute it across the surface, and then grab your tamper and press it nice and firm. If you don't have a scale and you want to know if you have 18 grams, just look at the tamper. So now I have 18 grams exactly, and you notice that the tamper only goes as deep as this silver cap here. I'm pressing all I can, and that's the depth that it's going to. Not deeper, not more, not less. It's a good rule of thumb if you're in a hurry or if you don't want to measure your coffee. That's how deep from the edge. So you want to clean the edges now and lock it in. So this is a fairly fresh seal. It's a relatively new seal, unused. So you don't want to put too much stress on it. It will be tight, as you would expect. So I'm only going to tighten it to 6 o'clock position. I don't need to tighten it all the way to the right. It can go all the way to the right. I just don't need to. If you find that it's really hard to put on, that's probably because you have too much coffee. So just make sure you fill the basket to the right level, as we just discussed. So it's nice and tight here. Here's my cup. I'm gonna dunk it in the sink. Oh, you also have a hot water tap here. So for making a long black coffee, or if you want to brew some tea or something, you can use this for that. It'll give you clean hot water straight from the boiler. I like to use it to add, whenever I add sugar to my coffee, I think the hot water helps it dissolve. So I'm going to add some sugar now. I'm going to measure the cup now again, so that we can measure the output of the espresso. Great. These buttons here are programmable, so you can make them to whatever length you'd like. I'm going to reprogram them to give you 36 grams of espresso. So as you saw, we programmed the grind size to number 4. We programmed the amount to 2 o'clock. And now we're going to program the buttons to give us a standard double shot. So I'll show you how to do that. Of course, we're going to need a scale or a measuring cylinder to measure the output. The way you program is you press this program button, then the button you want to program. When making the coffee, keep an eye on 2 things. So the pressure gauge. You want the pressure gauge to be up high. So maybe between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. That's the perfect range. And pay attention to the timing as well. You want the coffee dose. So the dose is going to be 36 grams. You want that to happen in between 20 to 30 seconds from pressing the button. If my grind size turns out to be too coarse, I will notice my pressure being low, and I'll notice my coffee coming out in less than 20 seconds. If it's very fine or too fine, I'll notice that the pressure will be too high, the coffee will be coming out really slow. So I just want to balance that, and the only way to do that is to change the grind size. Of course, you want to be using fresh beans. If you're not using fresh beans, this process will be really hard. Okay, program. I'm going to time it. $12 o'clock pressure looks good. I'll stop it there. It looks like it's a touch too fine, so that was 20 seconds. So it's on the edge of being too quick, sorry. So I'm going to need to maybe change the grind size. We got 40 grams, so above the 36 we were aiming for. That's fine, it's still a good shot. As you saw, we had some good pressures, some good flow. The flow is nice and smooth. It was a little bit quick at the end, but anyway, we have some good crema as well. So this is a decent shot, I would say. But to make it a perfect shot, I would increase the grind size. Sorry, I would decrease the grind size from 4 to 3 to make it one click finer, and then I would try again. Hopefully the next time it'll be closer to 25 seconds for that double shot to happen. Okay, so that's the espresso. Let's steam some milk now for the latte. Here's my milk jug. I'm gonna fill it about halfway with cold full cream milk. You want the milk to be cold because that helps you with texturing. It'll give you more time to inject air into the milk and make it, you know, bubbly and creamy. Perfect. I'm going to turn on the steamer now. It'll take about 10-15 seconds. Whoops. 10-15 seconds to warm up and reach that steam temperature. Give it a few seconds. And when you hear the pump, that's about full pressure. I'm going to turn it off and then put my jug. You want to keep the wand close to the surface of the milk, I mean the tip of the wand, and try to spin it in a circle, just like I'm doing here. Putting the wand at an angle and close to the edge of the jug will keep it spinning. And I'm going to stop it when it's too hot to handle. So when it's too hot to touch with my palm, that's when I stop it. Right about that. Very important. Slowly take the wand out and purge, just to get rid of any milk and sort of clean that wand. And then grab a wet towel and wipe it straight away. After you turn it off, about 5 seconds, the machine will give you about 5 seconds, and then it will cool down and purge water as it just did. Now it's ready to make another coffee. So that's a nice feature. You don't have to manually cool it down. Make sure you get every nook and cranny of the wand. Honestly, the cleaner you keep it, the longer it'll last. So try to keep your machine nice and clean. And I forgot to say, you know, before doing the milk, maybe clean the portafilter as well. So obviously get rid of the grounds as soon as you can. Knock it into a knockbox, which, by the way, I do have a spare one to sell if you're interested. goes nice and easy. And then run a blank shot this time to rinse the shower screen and the portafilter. Sort of two birds, one stone. Yeah, maybe every week, every few days, grab a tissue and wipe the shower screen, the seal, and you can use the brush for this as well. This is the brush I'm talking about. You can use it to wipe or clean the coffee grounds from the grip head. Yeah, so let's not keep the espresso and milk sitting out for too long. I'm going to knock down the jug to break any bubbles. And then spin it around to kind of mix it up. Swirl. Do that a couple times until the surface is like very smooth, almost like wet paint. That's the surface texture you want for your milk. And then you pour it down. This is a very delicious cup. Looks amazing. Let me just show you. So, not quite latte art because I'm more about the taste, but look how smooth it looks. Looks amazing. I'm looking forward to having this, and I'm sure with some practice you can do much better latte art with your machine. I'm sure you'll love it. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.